I know sometimes y'all hear me talk about crazy shit and like my takes are kind of doo doo but to you guys sometimes. But like I actually feel like I'm like fucking crazy, bro. Because and I have to talk about this. I literally don't even have like a different path in my mind of like how my life is going to go. I've tried to like in the past I've tried to like put it down and be like, okay, yo, chill. Like, it's probably unlikely, probably not gonna happen. You probably have to sell your soul or something, which I still believe. Like, that conspiracy shit. That's for a different video. But like, let me know if anyone else feels this way. But I know how my shit's gonna go, and I feel so confident saying that more than I feel confident saying that I'm a Hispanic 19-year-old male. Like, I literally feel more confident saying I know what's going to happen in my future because I'm so determined. And I can acknowledge that, like, things can be taken from me. What the fuck is my color changing for, dog? Chill. Um Things can be taken like that, but like I just feel I feel something like coming up. And I always see those, like, we've all seen those videos that are like that'll pop up and be like, yo, like, this is your time, blah blah blah. Like, if you see this is your time. This is not one of those videos, okay? I'm just telling you guys how I feel. And maybe you guys feel the same. I don't know. But like I started doing this thing where I bought sticky notes. Cause what happened to me was I was getting a lot of ideas and stuff, and uh like kind of like phrases or lyrics or things like that, and I was getting them all at once, but they would be so overwhelming, I'd end up just forgetting them. And that's ultimately worse than writing down even just one of them if you forget the rest, or even just one of them if you don't like the rest. But I've started writing down everything, and I'll sticky notes especially. I'll just slap them on the wall. So now my room and my room where I sleep, and then my studio here where I'm at right now, where I record all my videos, is starting to get kind of like papers everywhere and stuff, and it's starting to like manifest in my head. Like, it's because before it was like okay, I really feel it in here. And feeling it in here is one thing, right? Because it's going to conflict with what's up here. But when this starts to come into fruition too, then your actions start to kind of match that, right? Because it's feeling and then thoughts, and then I don't know how exactly it goes, like, technically, but that's always like how I feel like it should work. Is you feel it in here first, and then you kind of make yourself believe it so hard that you actually start living that way. And then if you start living that way, that thing will come. That's just the next step. So it's kind of like A, B, C, and then D, you know? D's kind of the come true part. But there's nothing like that hunger that will make you so impatient. Like, I literally just have on my wall, it just says patience, bro. Like, I have to remind myself all the time because this eagerness, like, I know I'm going to miss this. Miss, like, just hunting for it. And then when I get it, I know how it's going to feel. Like, it's just going to feel like, oh my God, it finally happened. Like, I'm ready for that time to come. I'm ready for that thing to happen. And, like, I've been prepping for it for so fucking long. So fucking long, bro. And sometimes, like, I used to get discouraged a lot. Now I don't even get discouraged. It's like or competitive. It's like I know I have something that only I have. Meaning, like, I'm the only 19-year-old me, that quote, bro. You can't tell me what to do because I'm the only 19-year-old me. and nobody else has my idea because I'm the only me who has that idea. It's the same thing with probably any of you watching this video. I will not probably ever think of something that you're thinking about doing in the way that you want to do it, if that makes sense. Not saying everything, nothing is an original thought at this point anymore. Nothing is an original experience. We already know that. But the execution, the way that you go about it is always going to be original. It varies from person to person to person. Like, even if you have an identical twin, probably, you know? But, like, man, that's the kind of shit that's just like, okay, it's just so wild to me. Because people are always like, oh, what are you going to, what are you going to do? Like, where do you plan on going with this? Or with, your job or your career or your hobbies. And I'm like, dog, like, I can't even explain it sometimes, because when it comes out and you're saying it to a person who doesn't, like, think like this, it almost sounds like ridiculous, like out of a cartoon or something. It's actually fucking crazy. It sounds literally delusional when you play it back and you try to put yourself in a mindset of an abnormal person, because I would argue the way that I'm thinking is normal. The creative expression and the need and the feeling that something is going to happen is normal. The people who think that those things are irrational and unrealistic are abnormal. Because we were designed to create as humans. We were literally designed to create things. Like, our ancestors were carving shit on walls in free time and making outfits, shoes, things like that, different kinds of food, like experimenting, things like that. That's all creating. And it's so easy to be stripped from that, especially because, like, we get so many ideas, but ideas are nothing without execution. And sometimes you kind of get in a thing where you're like, okay, I have to only do this. I have to be working 98 hours a day, like 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, But I feel like a lot of people also don't realize, like, the leisure time and the rest is just as, if not more important to your flow, to your productivity than actually doing the task itself. Because if you don't give yourself the energy, like, it's just not going to be there. So, yeah, this should be the norm. People should think like this, even if it's not for the same reasons that I'm thinking it. People should be so, quote unquote, delusional, but I would actually say realistic. Every word that I'm using delusional for, I would use realistic instead. In a perfect world, in my world, I'm using that. And every place you'd use realistic, it should be delusional, right? Like, if you want to go and do something and, maybe it's, I don't know, peers or parents or family members or, I don't know, a girlfriend or boyfriend or something. And it's like, they're like, oh, that's not realistic, or, how are you going to go about your life in this way? You kind of have to have a real world view. The real world is what you make it, okay? People are like, oh my God, it's so hard and blah, blah, blah. And yes, like, sometimes I feel like this also comes from a place of ignorance in my like, thought process, but it really doesn't. Because it's what you make it. You have control over how you act and treat the things that are happening to you. Or over how you react. Let me rephrase that. You have control over how you react to all the situations that ever happen to you. You don't have control to what happens to you, over what happens to you, or what's going to happen to you. You only have control over how you go about those things, right? And that's most of the time what actually affects you, okay? But, like, I don't know. I just had to kind of rant about that because, man, it's just been on my chest and I just had to get it off that I, like, feel that way, It's just, like, crazy. Anyways, peep the Gengar blanket, bro.